listen carefully. The silence you've been living in was never empty. That silence wasn't God forgetting you. It was God preparing you. You thought God was silent because he turned away. You thought the unanswered prayers meant rejection. You thought the waiting meant he had forgotten you. But the truth is, silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. Every season of silence in your life has been God's way of protecting you, shaping you, and preparing you for what is coming next. Think about it. If he had answered every prayer when you wanted, you would have stepped into things you weren't ready for. You would have walked into doors that looked shiny on the outside, but were traps on the inside. Sometimes God closes his mouth to open your eyes. That silence you hated was the classroom of heaven. It was in that quiet season that you were learning patience, building strength, and discovering who you really are. You didn't see it then, but every tear you cried in silence was watering the ground of your future. Every lonely night was training your heart to depend on him and not on people. Look back for a moment. Remember the times you begged for an answer? Remember when you thought you couldn't take another day of waiting? And yet here you are, still breathing, still standing. That silence did not destroy you, it refined you. If God had given you everything instantly, you would not have grown. But because he was silent, you learned to pray deeper, to wait longer, to trust stronger. Some of you right now are frustrated. You keep asking, why is God not speaking to me? Why is heaven so quiet? But hear this truth. Silence is not rejection. It is redirection. He is guiding you without words. He is training your ears to recognize his whisper. He is teaching your spirit to move by faith, not by sight. Do you know why gold is so valuable? Because it survives the fire. And you too have been in the fire of silence, purified, stripped of distractions, tested in your faith. And when God finally speaks, when he finally opens the next door, you will carry a strength and wisdom you never had before. That is why your silence was necessary. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You see, sometimes God hides you in silence so that when he reveals you, no one can take credit. Your friends didn't promote you. Your boss didn't open the door. Your family didn't pull strings for you. It was God and God alone. The silence makes the breakthrough undeniable. When it comes, everyone will know it was him. So don't despise your silent season. Don't curse the waiting. Don't give up in the quiet. Because even in the silence, God is working behind the scenes. The same God who seemed silent was actually aligning opportunities, removing the wrong people, protecting you from hidden dangers, and preparing the exact moment when everything will shift in your favor. Your silence has been holy ground. It has been the place where your spirit has matured. It has been proving ground for your fate. And soon, very soon, the silence will break. The prayers you thought were ignored will suddenly be answered. The doors you thought were locked forever will suddenly swing open. The life you thought was delayed will suddenly accelerate. When that happens, you will realize the silence was not wasted time. It was divine timing. The unanswered prayers were not neglect. They were protection. The waiting was not denial. It was preparation. And the silence was not God turning away. It was God pulling you closer, shaping you, and setting you up for the destiny only you could carry. So tonight, instead of asking, God, why are you silent? Ask, God, what are you teaching me in this silence? Because when you finally step into the promise, you will thank Him for every quiet season. You will understand that your silence was part of God's perfect plan. And when you look back, you will not see silence. You will see strategy. You will not see rejection. You will see redirection. You will not see loneliness. You will see preparation. The silence was never empty. It was always full of God's purpose. Your silence has been your strength, and now your story is about to speak louder than ever before. You see, silence is not just the absence of noise. It is the language of heaven that most people never learn to understand. In silence, God is teaching you things that words could never explain. In silence, He is showing you the strength of your spirit, the depth of your faith, and the patience of your heart. Imagine a seed planted in the ground. Once it is covered, there is silence. You cannot see it growing. You cannot hear it moving. Yet something powerful is happening beneath the surface. That seed is breaking open. Roots are digging deep, and life is being prepared to burst forth. But from the outside, it looks like nothing. That's exactly what your silent season is. People may look at you and think nothing is happening, but inside your spirit, God is building roots so strong that when your breakthrough comes, nothing will shake you. This is why silence is not punishment. It is protection. God hides you, so you are not destroyed before your time. He keeps you in the quiet, so that when He reveals you, you are unshakable. Many people want the spotlight too quickly, but they do not realize that without the silent preparation, the weight of success would crush them. God loves you too much to let that happen, so He keeps you hidden in silence until you are ready to shine. Think of Joseph in the Bible. Years in prison, years in silence, forgotten by people, but never forgotten by God. It was in that silence that Joseph developed the wisdom and strength to one day lead a nation. And when the silence ended, he was elevated overnight from prisoner to prime minister. The silence was the preparation for the sudden breakthrough. And the same is true for you. Right now, it might feel like God is not speaking, like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling. But silence does not mean God is not moving. Behind the curtain of silence, He is arranging the stage of your life. He is removing people who would betray you, setting aside opportunities that would harm you, and aligning divine connections you will need for your next season. If you could see what He is doing in the silence, you would not be discouraged. You would be rejoicing. This is why you cannot quit in your silent season, because silence always comes before sound. Just like the stillness before a storm, just like the hush before music begins, silence is the final moment before everything changes. The enemy wants you to give up now because he knows the silence is almost over. He knows the longer the silence, the bigger the breakthrough. So instead of asking, God, why are you silent? Start asking, God, what are you shaping in me through this silence? Because when your breakthrough comes, you will realize every quiet night was building strength. Every unanswered prayer was teaching trust. Every hidden season was preparing you for elevation. And when the silence finally breaks, when God's voice finally thunders into your life, you will not just step into a blessing. You will step into destiny. The silence will make sense. You will see that the unanswered prayers were really the best answers. You will see that the waiting was not a delay. It was divine timing. You will see that the silence was never empty. It was always full of God's plan. So don't lose hope. Don't give up, because one day soon, the silence that felt endless will break wide open, and you will realize it was all part of God's perfect design for your life. The silence was never rejection. It was God's direction. It was not punishment. It was preparation. And now, the silence is ending, and your breakthrough is beginning.